For exactly 70 years, Queen Elizabeth II was on the British throne. She had a net worth of around $500 million. Since her passing at Balmoral Castle, we can't help but wonder what will happen to her massive estate. Don't swipe or click away, because here is what will happen to the estate of Queen Elizabeth II. After passing away on September 8, 2022 in her home in Scotland, the nation went into mourning. She was so well liked as a monarch that instead of the common 12 days of mourning, the new King Charles III issued a plea wishing that the state of mourning be continued for 5 more days, or 17 days in total. Her coffin will be interred on the 10th day, and 7 days of mourning will follow after. All of the possessions of the Queen, the jewels, the 2 castles, and the investments will go to the new monarch. The wealth transfer will happen after he is crowned king. She witnessed and served in the Second World War. She was there during the Cold War. She witnessed the election of the Iron Lady, the first female Prime Minister of Britain, and she met 7 archbishops and 7 popes. After a silver, a golden, a diamond, and a platinum jubilee, the Queen's status was that of an A-list celebrity, from the smallest village to the largest city. Everyone knows who the Queen is. The funeral is going to be the most expensive event in British royal family history, and it will likely be the most heavily guarded event as well. Major heads of state and world leaders will come to pay their last farewell to the Queen. In India, they even proclaimed one-day mourning throughout the country, paying homage to Her Majesty on September 11th. No doubt, the royal family will be in a great state of mourning, but we're interested in Charles right now. Let's assume that he is crowned king in the second half of 2023. Will he receive the entire $28 billion estate? Or will it be a lot more complicated than that? The total $28 billion empire of the royal family is held in the royal firm. Past monarchs like King George VI and Prince Charles have referred to the royal firm as the family business. This chart illustrates all of the assets owned by the British royal family. The total $28 billion is divided among several assets, the largest of which is smashing that like button just like you should if you haven't already. But no, in all seriousness, the largest is the Crown Estate, valued at $19.5 billion. Second is Buckingham Palace with $4.9 billion. Then there's the Duchy of Cornwall, valued at $1.3 billion. The Duchy of Lancaster, worth an astounding $748 million. Kensington Palace is another $630 million. And the Crown Estate in Scotland is valued at $592 million. None of these properties can be sold or auctioned, but they can be rented. We're talking about tens of thousands of hectares of land and properties that are rented out to the public when the royal family is not using them. Everything from gift shops to cafes, small castle-like cottages, and even parking lots have been rented out to the public. Thanks to careful asset management, the royal firm has been generating hundreds of millions of dollars for the government. You see, the Queen may control a lot of assets, but she is not entitled to the net profits from all of them. Only part of those profits go to the royal family to spend. The rest goes to the UK government. From the chart, you can also see that the Queen's estate is valued at approximately $500 million. This includes the 2 castles owned by the Queen, Balmoral Castle and Sandringham House. There are also private investments such as art and businesses and jewels. All of this wealth will go to Charles III, and it will be exempt from the customary 40% inheritance tax. This was agreed upon in 1993 when Prime Minister John Major signed an agreement with the royal family exempting their wealth from inheritance tax. The goal was to avoid eroding the wealth of the monarchy. And since we're on the subject of inheritance, Queen Elizabeth II inherited about $70 million from Queen Mother Elizabeth when she passed away in 2002. In this small fortune, she inherited horses, jewels, a Faberge egg, fine china, and works by Monet, Nash, and Carl Faberge. Aside from this, the monarch, in this case Charles, will receive annual income from the government. However, the sum of that annual income is determined solely by the net profit generated by the Crown Estate. The Crown Estate encompasses all the real estate and investments that belong to the royal family. Each family member, from the Queen to Prince Edward and his wife Sophie, the Countess of Wessex, is responsible for generating a profit. They each play a particular role in managing the royal firm and running their businesses. In financial year 2021-2022, the Crown Estate generated £312.7 million worth of profit for the government. Of that, they will receive approximately 25%. That's called the Royal Grant. That grant was set by King George III when he agreed to surrender his income from the British Parliament. Back then, it was established that the royal family will only get 15% of all of the net profit generated from the assets held in Crown Estate. But that number has been bumped up to 25%, as we've already mentioned. All of the revenue generated by the Crown Estate will go to the government. And as a bonus, they were set to receive an annual grant from the profits. That way, the royal family is not taking money from the taxpayers, but is generating money for their own sovereign grant. In 2021 and 2022, that grant was limited to £86 million. This is money the Queen could use for travel, security, leisure, and also maintaining the Buckingham Palace, along with the rest of the properties owned by the Crown. Part of the money will also go towards expenses that include staff, payroll, security, and travel. The CEO of the Crown Estate has said, "Over the last 10 years, we have contributed over £3 billion for public spending through the active management of a portfolio that now stands at £15.6 billion in value. On top of that, every 5 years, the Prime Minister, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, and the Keeper of the Privy Purse will meet, and they will review the amount allocated for the sovereign grant. These three people are known as the Royal Trustees, and in a way, they determine the annual income for the royal family. When it comes to the Queen's private expenses, there's a separate allowance for that. This is not related to the sovereign grant. It's money the Queen was receiving on top of the grant, but it's no burden to the taxpayers. The private allowance is called Her Highness's Privy Purse, and it's comprised of agricultural properties, residential properties, and commercial properties. All of this estate is held in the Duchy of Lancaster. Those assets have generated a net income surplus of around £24 million. All of the net profits go directly to the sovereign. However, we should mention that the Queen doesn't get the full amount because that amount is subject to taxes. The royal firm will stay in the ownership of the royal family, and King Charles III, once he ascends to the throne, will be getting the same annual income from the Privy Purse and the sovereign grant. He will keep the estate he currently owns, and he will add to that estate the $500 million inherited from his mother. Currently, he has a fortune valued at $100 million, mainly from the Duchy of Cornwall, which generates between $20 and $30 million annually. But after ascending to the throne, the Duchy of Cornwall will go to his son, Prince William. In short, the future King Charles III will have an estate as big as the Queen herself, and will likely want to grow it over the years. On a related note, do you think Charles III will be a better ruler than Queen Elizabeth II was? You can tell us in the comment section below. If you'd like more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.